If you're over 60, there's something you do every single night that feels completely harmless, even natural, yet it may quietly be raising your risk of a stroke. And the terrifying part is that there's no pain, no warning signs, no chest pressure or dizziness to tip you off. You go to bed feeling fine, and by morning, something has changed. Strokes that happen overnight are often sudden, silent, and life-altering. What many people don't realize is that the early morning hours when blood pressure naturally rises are the most dangerous. By that time, stiffened arteries, sluggish circulation, and the simple force of aging can create the perfect conditions for a clot to form. And while most of us assume smoking, diet, or lack of exercise are the main culprits, there's another hidden factor that too often goes ignored: your sleeping habits. The very way you position your head, your chest, even the way you cover yourself, can change blood flow, oxygen levels, and pressure in the brain. What feels safe may actually be quietly eroding the brain's ability to protect itself. Tonight, I'm going to walk you through the hidden dangers in the positions many seniors take for granted and show you what to do instead. Because prevention doesn't start with a pill, it starts with the way you lay down your head. Let's begin with a position that seems peaceful but can set the stage for disaster. At first glance, lying flat on your back without a pillow feels restful, almost disciplined. For some, it even started decades ago to ease back pain or create the sense of sleeping deeply. But here's the truth: when your head rests level with your heart, your brain's veins are forced to fight gravity just to drain blood. Instead of flowing smoothly out of the brain, blood slows, pools, and thickens. In younger bodies, flexible vessels may compensate, but with age, stiff arteries and fragile veins can't keep up. And when the early morning surge in blood pressure comes, something entirely normal. Thickened blood in narrowed vessels can form clots that block circulation in seconds. The risk is highest in people already managing high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, carotid artery disease, or sleep apnea. And even more so in those who take nighttime blood pressure medication that lowers pressure too far during sleep. The safest adjustment isn't complicated. Elevate your head about 30 degrees, use a pillow that supports the natural curve of your neck, and avoid stacking pillows so high that your chin is forced forward. Comfort is not the same as safety, and what feels peaceful when you drift off can become dangerous by morning. If lying flat on your back can silently trap blood in your brain, imagine what happens when you turn face down and twist your neck all night long. Sleeping on your stomach feels cozy, grounding, even protective. But it demands something unnatural. You must twist your neck sharply to one side in order to breathe. That twist compresses the vertebral arteries, the vessels that supply oxygen-rich blood to the back of your brain, the very region responsible for balance, coordination, and consciousness. Add a soft pillow that forces your head into extension, and circulation is compromised even further. At the same time, the weight of your chest presses against your lungs, limiting expansion, reducing oxygen levels, and causing carbon dioxide to accumulate. Your brain, sensitive to even small changes in oxygen, reacts with unstable blood flow, setting the stage for clots. And if you snore, have sleep apnea, or take sedatives, the risks multiply. Your body's natural alarms, the reflexes that wake you when oxygen dips, no longer work as they once did. A 30-year-old may wake up gasping, but at 70, that warning signal may never arrive. That's why stomach sleeping can be one of the most dangerous positions for older adults, even if it feels harmless. The better choice is to sleep on your left side with your head gently elevated, or on your back with supportive pillows that keep the neck aligned. What younger men and women may escape through resilience, seniors cannot, because the body's margin for error shrinks with age. And remember, it isn't just the way you position your body that matters, it's also the air you breathe during the night. We all know the comfort of pulling the blanket over our heads, the warmth, the quiet, the sense of being cocooned away from the world. For many, it's a habit carried from childhood into older age. But when you sleep sealed beneath heavy covers, you aren't just shutting out noise or light, you're limiting airflow. Oxygen falls, carbon dioxide builds up around your nose and mouth, and over hours, your blood becomes thicker and more prone to clotting. In seniors, even mild oxygen drops during sleep can dramatically raise stroke risk and accelerate cognitive decline. This isn't a danger reserved for people with diagnosed sleep apnea. It can affect anyone whose breathing is restricted while they sleep. What feels like safety is in fact a pocket of air starved of oxygen. And your brain, already vulnerable with age, cannot recover as it once did. The simple solution is to stop covering your head entirely. Use a sleep mask if you need darkness earplugs, if you need silence and breathable bedding that ends at your shoulders. Keep the room comfortably warm instead of trapping stale air beneath a quilt, because what seems like protection may be quietly starving the very organ that keeps you alive. And if reduced airflow can be so harmful, imagine what happens when you sleep not lying down at all, but half upright in your recliner, where blood pools in your legs while your brain is left waiting. Recliner chairs feel like a blessing for sore backs, stiff joints, and nights when lying flat seems impossible. Many older adults adopt them as a long-term solution, sometimes even abandoning their beds altogether. But the semi-upright position, angled between 45 and 60 degrees, places your circulation at a disadvantage. Gravity pulls blood downward into your legs, and the veins in your hips and thighs are compressed by the chair's edges. That sluggish flow is fertile ground for small clots to form, clots that may sit quietly until the morning surge in blood pressure propels them upward to the brain. At the same time, sleeping upright weakens the body's baroreflex, the natural system that balances blood pressure during rest. In a recliner, your heart and brain struggle to communicate properly, leading to unstable pressures that can trigger vascular damage. Younger people may tolerate this, but for seniors with thicker blood, stiffer vessels, and slower circulation, the recliner becomes a silent factory for clots. The solution is not to endure pain in bed, but to adjust wisely, use a firm wedge pillow, or an adjustable bed that elevates the upper body without compressing the lower limbs. And move or stretch your legs regularly to keep blood flowing. Because what feels like comfort may quietly be turning into a trap. And if a recliner can create so much risk, what about lying on your favorite side with your arm pinned under your pillow? That's a story we need to confront next. One of the most common sleeping habits I see among older adults is curling up on the right side with the arm tucked beneath the pillow, as if that arm is helping to support the head. It feels natural, even comforting, but this simple posture places silent pressure on some of the most important highways of blood flow in the body. The carotid artery, the subclavian artery, and the veins that drain the brain and upper chest can all become compressed for hours at a time. When blood slows and pools under pressure, clots form more easily. And the danger comes when you finally shift position near dawn. That small movement can dislodge a clot that has been building all night and send it straight toward the brain. Beyond circulation, this position also compresses the brachial plexus, a bundle of nerves that runs through the shoulder. The result is numbness, tingling, or aching pain that interrupts deep sleep cycles and leaves you waking up unrefreshed. The fix is surprisingly simple. Train yourself to sleep on the left side, keep both arms forward or resting gently along the body, and use a supportive pillow that keeps the neck aligned instead of relying on your arm. What feels like a lifelong favorite pose is in truth one of the most silent and overlooked risks for brain health. And even when the position looks correct, restless movement through the night may reveal an entirely different warning. Have you ever wondered why you can spend 7 or 8 hours in bed and still wake up exhausted? Foggy or unsteady restlessness during sleep isn't just annoying. It may be your brain's way of warning you. Every sharp roll from one side to the other, every sudden twist of the head in an aging body with stiff arteries can momentarily reduce blood flow to the brain. Over and over, these interruptions add up. Instead of enjoying the natural nightly drop in blood pressure that heals and restores vessels, your body stays in a state of cortisol-driven tension. The brain's lymphatic system, which clears toxins at night, is disrupted, and microscopic inflammation lingers. Signs of this imbalance often show up in subtle ways: night sweats, waking with your heart racing, numb hands at sunrise, or early morning dizziness. Too often, these clues are brushed off as just aging, but they may actually point toward sleep apnea, cardiovascular instability, or other hidden disorders. The solution is to treat restlessness as a symptom, not a quirk. Optimize your sleep environment: cool, dark, and quiet. Stay hydrated before bed. And if you or your partner notice constant tossing, Speak to a doctor about a sleep study. Your body may be waking you up because your brain is starved for steady circulation. That's not normal, and it's not safe. And as concerning as restlessness is, there's another misstep that may be even more dangerous: a single skipped pill at night. I want to be blunt here: forgetting your heart or blood pressure medication at night is not a harmless mistake. For an older adult, skipping even one dose can open a dangerous window in the hours before dawn. Medications like beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, ACE inhibitors, or blood thinners are prescribed to keep pressure and rhythm steady through the night. Without them, the natural early morning spike in blood pressure can rise unchecked between 2 and 6 a.m., just when most strokes occur. Combine that surge with stiff arteries and thicker blood, and the stage is set for clots that change a life in seconds. The truth is, the margin of error shrinks with age. What once could be overlooked now carries real consequences. The solution is discipline and planning. Take your pills at the same time. Every night, keep a backup dose beside the bed, use a pill box with alarms, or ask a loved one to check in. Don't underestimate the power of routine. It is the shield your brain depends on. A small slip can have enormous consequences by morning. And while medication is critical, it's not the only invisible factor at play. Even the room temperature and the pillow you choose can quietly tighten blood vessels and restrict flow. Many people believe that sleeping in a cool room is healthier, refreshing, even restorative. But for older adults, cold air can trigger vasoconstriction, narrowing of blood vessels, particularly in the carotid and vertebral arteries that supply the brain. Pair that with poor neck support, such as a pillow that's too soft or too flat, and you have a double trap. A bent chin or twisted neck compresses circulation just enough to limit blood flow through already stiffened vessels. For anyone with cervical spine changes, a common feature of aging, the risk multiplies. What feels like a harmless chill can, over hours, reduce oxygen delivery and create the exact conditions for clot formation. The safer approach is straightforward. Keep the bedroom cool but not cold, ideally between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and use a medium firm pillow that supports the natural curve of your neck. Avoid sleeping with your chin tucked down or your head sharply turned to one side. These small adjustments protect fragile circulation and ensure the brain is nourished through the night. But even with the perfect pillow and room temperature, there's one more common habit that undermines everything: a heavy meal or nightcap before bed. For decades, many have believed that a full belly or a glass of wine helps them drift into a deeper sleep. But what feels like drowsiness is actually a dangerous disruption. When you eat a large, heavy meal at night, blood is redirected from the brain to the digestive system, leaving cerebral circulation temporarily reduced. Add alcohol and the risk compounds. Alcohol first dilates blood vessels, giving you that flush and relaxation. But as it wears off, it forces vessels to constrict sharply, creating unstable swings in blood pressure. The combination of dehydration, arrhythmia, and poor oxygen delivery can turn those early morning hours into the perfect storm for clot formation. The safer path is clear finish, eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Keep alcohol moderate, and earlier in the evening, drink water alongside meals, and avoid salty, fatty, or sugary foods late at night. Don't confuse alcohol-induced drowsiness with healthy rest. This is a fragmented, unstable sleep that taxes the heart and brain instead of restoring them. And now that we've uncovered these silent risks, it's time to bring it all together into a model of safe sleep you can begin practicing tonight. Here's the encouraging truth: most strokes that occur during sleep are preventable. That's worth repeating. They are not random, not inevitable, but the product of routines and habits we can change. The checklist is simple, yet powerful. Prioritize sleeping on your left side with your head elevated about 30 degrees, using a pillow that supports the natural curve of your neck. Avoid lying flat, lying on your stomach, or tucking an arm under your head. Don't cover your face with heavy blankets. Instead, keep bedding breathable and the room temperature around 65 to 68 degrees. Never rely on a recliner as your bed. If elevation is necessary, use a wedge or adjustable bed that lifts the whole torso while keeping the legs free. Protect circulation by stretching and moving your lower limbs daily. Take your medications without fail, setting reminders and keeping a backup dose nearby. Skip heavy late-night meals and alcohol before bed and stay hydrated. If your nights are restless, fragmented, or marked by loud snoring, consider a sleep evaluation. It may reveal conditions that put you at greater risk. The key is to understand that healthy sleep is not about the number of hours. It is about alignment, oxygen, and circulation. Each small adjustment, whether it's changing a pillow, elevating your head, or never skipping a pill, carries enormous weight. Tonight, I invite you to choose just one change from this list and make it yours. Apply it, feel the difference, and share your experience. Because when you protect your sleep, you protect your speech, your balance, your independence, your very identity. The power to prevent, to safeguard, lies in your hands every night you lay your head down.